we're still keeping tabs on what is happening 24 hours before the people of Edo State go to the polls. We're still hoping that, the citizens of Edo State will tell us how they feel a day to the elections. Do they have any concerns? Well, we do know that part of the concerns that have been raised so far by civil society organizations, even the political actors, have been around security and whether or not the security agencies will provide a level playing field for all of the political actors and citizens and stakeholders to come out tomorrow and exercise their franchise and protect the votes of the people. We have heard so far the reassurances of the CDS, General Christopher Musa, tell us about what the mandate of the president is. We heard the DIG in charge of the elections yesterday, Mr. Frank Umba, also tell us what the instruction he has been given by the IGP. Well, this morning, we're going to be speaking with Mr. Olatunji Disu, who is the CP Edo State election. Yeah, they have a CP in charge of the elections as well. Mr. Disu, it's so good to see you on Sunrise Early this morning. Thank you for speaking with us this morning. So that is a charge that we have heard so far, the fact that the police have a duty on their shoulders to be able to provide a level playing field. How do you intend to achieve that for this polls where we have seen mutual suspicion and some parties you've risen to sign a peace accord as a result of fears that, the security agencies could have been compromised already?
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here. First and foremost, we started this by having various meetings with officers. Even yesterday, the Inspector General of Police was with us on Zoom, where he made it clear for us that we are here to provide a level playing ground for these elections. And then our officers have been briefed. We have had meetings upon meetings. Today we are meeting again, and our goal is to let them know that they are to go out, provide a level playing ground for everybody to ensure that we have free and fair elections.
What are some of the assurances? What are some of the things you're doing to ensure that, if there are any questions raised by any political party or by any political actor or even by the people, that, it does appear that maybe some of your men they haven't taken that instruction on board. What are some of the outlets that you have given people to be able to report such incidences?
We have, for this election, we have 18 local government areas. The election will be taking place in 4,519 polling units. And then the Inspector General of Police have thought it wise to deploy commissioners of police to man these 18 local government. So we have commissioners of police who will be able to handle situations as they unfold. We have numbers that we are going to give to members of the public for them to call us in case there's any emergency or anything they want us to look into quickly so that we will attend to it.
Do you have some of those numbers with you now?
I do.
Do you want to share them quickly?
Definitely. I have the phone number of the DIG, who is always with him, and we move around almost together. The phone number is 0702 500 283. I'll come in with the number again. 0702 500 283. And we have two other numbers that are the helplines for the command. We have 080 7777 3721. I'll take it one more time. 080 7777 3721. And the last number is 0803 764 6272. I'll take it one more time. 0803 764 6272.
All right, thank you so much for sharing those numbers. We'll make sure that we put it on the slide and perhaps it can also be aired towards the end of the program for the citizens to have that. One of the big bones of contention which we had cause to raise with the REC as a resident electoral commissioner earlier on in our discussions is the issue of vote buying. I mean, I'm sure my colleague Kila will take you up on security and violence, because there have been concerns raised around proliferation of small and light weapons, even before this elections. But let me take you up on the issue of vote buying, which is one of the concerns that CSOs have also raised. They fear that, given the current economic situation, that, the voting public could be susceptible to, the antics of political parties who might try to buy the vote of the electorate tomorrow. Do you have any special operation in place to look out for such? And what is the agreement between yourself and INEC with regards to that?
Definitely, we have that information, we have intelligence, and we know this happened during all the elections. The Inspector General of Police have tasked the SIB, that's our intelligence unit, to go out and work on this. And then our sister agencies are here. We have had meetings with them, that's the EFCC and Co, whose job borders on issues of influencing votes and election with money.
What is the consequence? What are the penalties for that? What is the line of action when that is noticed?
People found to be arrested, taken for investigations, and they'll be prosecuted. I'm sure there are prescribed punishment for them in our laws, and that will be followed to the book.
I mean, listening to you say that right now, is that enough to discourage people, Mr. Disu? Is it enough to discourage people from partaking in or being the ones distributing money at polling units? Do you think this warning from you and your office is strong enough?
From experience, people will still do what they want to do. But I'm sure we have warned them enough, and we have people out to ensure we enforce this. We know from experience that when this vote buying will start, it starts from today. It starts from today, and operatives have been sent out where we know a lot of activities will be taking place. Yes, I'm sure this should be enough warning to them. Anybody caught will be prosecuted and they will be charged to court.
I mean, maybe it's just my mind as a Nigerian. I like to hear what punishments are, because many people, like you said, they would want to be able to exploit these situations and, find loopholes around it. But we'll get to that shortly. As Mark West said, I wanted to take you up on security, because that's one of the major issues that people have with this election, with the non-signing of the peace accord, with the rhetorics we've been hearing, do or die, die or do, and all of the things that we've been hearing in the build-up to these elections. And we're seeing election observers also stating that this is something that they're worried about. The presidency, President Bola Tinubu just released a statement right now where they're also saying that security agents have to, do what they can to ensure that there's a peaceful exercise. Are there fears that you and your men may be having right now as regards the peaceful nature of this exercise? And in what ways are you going to handle them?
Yes, we have fears of people wanting to come out to disrupt the elections. We have fears of the usual consequences of disruption of elections. And that is why we have taken our time to talk to our men, we want them, and we have started taking proactive measures towards this. Yesterday we continued the show of force movement around town, getting to know all the nooks and crannies of the town, familiarizing ourselves with all the polling centers, and having demonstration of what could happen during the elections for the men to have a feel of it. We have posted men everywhere. And for your information, there's going to be restriction of movement. There's going to be, and we are going to follow it to the latter from 12:00 hours to 18:00 hours of tomorrow. Movement will be restricted, and we have found out that by the time we achieve that, 70% of our problems will have been solved. We are using the opportunity to warn people, VIPs that will want to go around with their security operatives. This will not be accepted.
I want to be able to look at some of the issues that were raised by, at least by Yaga Africa, about the security. And they said they are noting tense and volatile political, as the elections start. The campaign period was signposted with strong arm tactics and violence. The activities of cult groups intensified amidst the proliferation of small and light arms. Like Yaga Africa is concerned that politicians will tactically employ violence and intimidation units and local government areas. Additionally, they're saying armed groups and political disrupt INEC's deployment of election materials units to influence the outcome of those elections. And they've identified 8 local government areas as places that they believe will be hot spots for this violence. Them properly. Ikpoba, Oka, Oredo, Ego, Ovia South, Ovia Southwest, Ovia Northeast, Eshan Southeast, Esako West, and Esako East. The volatile security environment in these local government areas necessitating a strategic and neutral deployment of security for personnel that we're seeing 35,000, with another 8,000 from other those 35,000 policemen who've been deployed. What are your thoughts on these reports at least from Yaga Africa? And in what ways, you talked about restriction of movement. Is that enough? You're saying 70% of your problem is solved with the restriction of movement?
Yes, we have this intelligence as well. We know that this is the period for political talks to come out to apply their trades. We know various political parties will want to employ them. We are working on them. We have plans, and a lot of them have been chased out of town. For this electoral material that you mentioned and all these known black spots, we have tactical units who have been tasked with ensuring that there is no breakdown of law and order in these areas. For your information, we have moved in a lot of mobile units to take charge of these areas that are known for violence. For the electoral materials, for the INEC offices, we are moving teams and teams of mobile policemen to be on vigil. And don't forget that we are not doing this alone as the Nigerian police. We have the assistance of all our sister agencies, the military assisting us, and other security agencies as well. And they have all been given specific roles to ensure that this election goes as planned.
I mean, I heard you talk a little bit about, the state of our country and how, that may affect, people's susceptibility to selling their votes. But another issue that is being raised is the susceptibility of security personnel to be influenced by political stakeholders who may want to use them, in one way or the other. And we're seeing that also here. Security agencies, from this Yaga report, to deploy personnel to strictly adhere to the code of conduct for election security. Now, when it comes to the readiness of your men and their ability to say no to political inducements, to money and things like that, considering the economic situation of our country, are your men up to the task? Are they ready to say, no, we don't take money, we are here to get this job done, and we'll do it without any inducement? Are your men the men for the job?
Yes, we are prepared for it. Police officers and other security agencies are human beings, and then definitely there will be one or two who will want to take the laws into their hands and do what they are not supposed to do. We have the police. We call them police. They are the ones who take charge of all vices committed by police officers. They take charge of prosecuting police officers involved in crime, trying them. They have been deployed as well. And then we have intelligence to watch the activities of all our men. And the IG have said it to them: anybody caught trying to disgrace the Nigerian police and fail the nation will be held responsible and punished accordingly.
Yes, but that punishment is for the people who try to influence your policemen. What about your policemen themselves? What punishment is there for them if they fall into this trap?
I just talked about the police. For those who try to influence the police, there is a punishment for the giver and the taker.
Well, we certainly will be keeping tabs on, what happens tomorrow at the polls. You have spoken about what will happen for the places that have been highlighted so far. The Inspector General of Police has also said that there will be no vigilante allowed to operate tomorrow. And this is in spite of, the fact that we know that Edo State has always operated that vigilante system. And it doesn't seem that that has been received very well. But has there been further discussions on that? Are you seeing any role for them tomorrow, or are they being told to stand down completely? Is that still the situation for Edo State?
Stand down completely. There is no role for them at all. Non-state actors are not invited to assist in this election. We have enough assistance from the military and other sister agencies. We have the civil defense, we have the DSS, we have the immigration, we have the customs. All of them have been deployed to assist the police. For every polling booth, you have nothing less than 5 police officers mixed with officers of other sister agencies. So we do not want them around. We do not want them to come and assist in any way for this election.
Edo State is also known to be a transit state. I mean, a lot of vehicles traveling from the southwest, to any other parts of the country, especially when they're going, further into the country, usually go through Edo State. You have said that there will be a no movement order tomorrow. What arrangements are being made for vehicles that are going to other states and usually have to go through Edo State?
The election is a national matter, and then we have tried very well to ensure that they have alternative routes. And then it's very important we have a restriction of movement because of experience of what happened during elections. Don't forget that Edo State share border with Kogi, Delta State, and Indo. And we know the volume of people that move around. They should take note that election will be starting tomorrow. And then we have ensured that we are going to ensure that the PRO comes out to inform people on time that there will be blockage of those main roads from 12:00 hours to 18:00 hours of tomorrow for the election to be conducted successfully. They can find another means of moving around during those periods.
Well, from 12 midnight today, there will be all the routes in and out of Edo State will be totally blocked off.
That I confirm. And this will be done mainly by sister agencies, especially the Nigerian Army, to be assisted by some officers of the mobile forces. Those on essential duties only will be allowed ingress into the town.
There have been concerns about the proliferation of small arms and light weapons, before the start of this election. And I know that, even the police did suffer a casualty preceding the elections. We've been seeing how there's been controversy reigning over people who have been arrested. The police maintains that it is people who were involved in the death of their police officer, etc. But, were there attempts to mop up any arms prior to these elections holding?
Definitely, that attempt was made. A lot of arrests were made by officers of this command, and some sizable number of small arms were recovered as well. It's a usual thing for police officers, and it happened towards the commencement of this election. Other proactive measures were taken into consideration. We have intelligence that they worked upon, and we have they got assistance from the headquarters as well, where specialized officers are trained to sniff out weapons were brought in to assist officers of this command.
What other attempts have been made to douse tension, between political actors ahead of those polls?
A lot of meetings have been held for stakeholders, and the DIG for this election have had meetings upon meetings since it came, where different people have come around, and they made an attempt to visit some of these stake actors. They have spoken to them, and again, the PRO is going to come up to address finally today, where members of the public will be addressed, and people, candidates especially, and political parties will be talked to ensure that they maintain peace and they allow the election to go smoothly.
Well, Mr. Diso, if we hadn't been, if we're just coming into Nigeria for the first time with all of the reassurances that you have given, ideally, we should just say, well, we think the police has this covered. We should just go to bed and, tomorrow the polls should hold. But, we're not strangers to how, some of the things that elections experience in this country and how sometimes some of the finest words are spoken, assurances are given. But we see on the day of elections that some of these things are broken. There's rampant vote buying. There is some violence in some places. Security agents look away, or in some instances, they themselves are actively involved. How, if we're to rate it on a scale, and it would seem that for elections now, what we now begin to do is rate just how much rules were not broken, or how much rules were broken, and that's how we rate the success of elections. From your own assessment of the situation on the ground tomorrow, what would you say is the propensity for some of the assurances that you're given to us today on this program to be upheld tomorrow when the citizens of Edo State go to the polls?
The question is a very interesting one. I want to know that we are human beings. Our security operatives are having our plans, going around to gather information. At the same time, they are planning as well. They are watching us and they're trying to circumvent everything we are doing to ensure that we have a peaceful election. We are aware of that. At the same time, we are putting a lot of contingencies to take charge of things that we are not planned for or any new thing that they bring up. We'll definitely try our best. We'll give you assurances that we'll do our best to ensure that this election comes out perfect.
In the event that it doesn't, what will the security agencies be saying?
Yes, that's why we have, before this election, we have plans for pre-elections, we have plans for during election, and we have the post-election plans as well. All these have been taken into consideration. The proper thing will be done at the appropriate time.
Well, we can only wish you the very best and pray that the elections go just as it ought to. Kela, you want to quickly say something?
Yes, because the bars, the phone numbers are out there right now. They're putting up the phone numbers, the emergency numbers on the bars right now. But before Mr. Disu leaves us, I want you to be able to listening to you, everything is going to be fine. It's going to be all right. Everything is going to be wonderful. But I'm worried. I'm actually a little bit worried about, the rhetoric. And back to that thing, the question Mark was asking you about, how voters will respond to security, especially with the rhetoric that has been going around about the police. We've heard the explanation from Mr. Dijobi, and we've understood it. But are your men ready for possible hostility against your men as the elections happen because of the rhetoric that has been going around accusing the police of being partisan? Is that something that you and your men are ready for?
The situation, and then we have the First Order 237 that have given police officers when and where to defend themselves. The police officers have been warned, they have been educated on their use of arms and ammunition, and then we are using this opportunity to warn potential troublemakers never to attack our policemen. Police officers will not fold their hands and allow themselves to be killed anyhow.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Disu, for speaking with us this morning. Those numbers are on the screen right now. And good luck with all the work that you have ahead of you. We'll be checking up on you throughout the election cycle.